All right, more trouble brewing for the Biden administration tonight, this time from the new Durham probe revelations. As the president's team continues to try to downplay this widening economic and energy impact of the supply chain crunch, let's discuss these issues with tonight's Dream Team panel, Fox News contributors Leslie Marshall and Jason Chaffetz. Welcome back to both of you.
Hi, Shannon.
Okay, so we've got this issue now that we know one of the foreign policy advisors or people who are referenced in the indictment is Jake Sullivan of the Biden administration and formerly with Hillary Clinton's team as well. Not that he's the subject of anything, not that he has done anything wrong, but this is now inching closer. Jonathan Turley is talking about this tonight and the fact that Adam Schiff has wanted to make a lot about these arrests, and Turley says, listen, the congressman and the Intel Committee chair may not have wanted it to come to this. Here's his recap.
Representative Schiff actually attacked the Durham investigation as other Democratic leaders tried to kill it towards the end of the Trump administration. So it's somewhat ironic to see him say, well, it's a good thing these people are being prosecuted, since if these people had their way, there would be no John Durham, and these indictments would never have seen the light of day.
Jason, what does it signal to you about where this Durham investigation is going? It seemed like very quiet for a while, and now a little bit more regular activity.
It has taken an exceptionally long amount of time. I think those that are closest to it think that John Durham is laying down the foundation for a conspiracy that is far wider than the three people that have been named in indictments thus far, that there is a very concerted effort to lie to Congress, lie to the FBI, but engage in a conspiracy. You know, it's ironic, but if you boil it right down, you basically had Hillary Clinton's campaign, the Democrats engaged with Russians, colluding with the Russians to actually accuse Donald Trump of colluding with the Russians on the election. That's what it boils down to. The proximity to Jake Sullivan is not a good thing, although he's not the subject of the investigation supposedly, but boy, the proximity is awfully close, Shannon.
Well, the headline in the New York Post is this: did Jake Sullivan commit perjury? Emails reveal, quote, lie on Trump. It says, in fact, on the eve of the election, Sullivan put out a written campaign statement that claimed Trump and the Russians had set up a, quote, secret hotline through Alpha Bank, and he suggested, quote, federal authorities were investigating this direct connection between Trump and Russia. He portrayed the shocking discovery as the work of independent experts, quote, computer scientists, without disclosing their attachment to the Clinton campaign. Leslie, it's not a good look.
Look, in this investigation, if he had lied under oath, there would be an indictment, and there is no indictment. And I'm going to go on the record and go to Vegas with there will be no indictment. What's going to happen is there's going to be a narrative report written by the Durham investigation. It has taken a long time. We haven't seen a lot of indictments. We haven't seen anybody going to jail and handcuffs put on. And I don't think we're going to see many to come. Just like Democrats were foaming at the mouth at one time, thinking that would happen during the Trump administration. Now I'm watching my fellow Republicans foam, or my fellow Republicans as in across the aisle, not I'm one, foaming at the mouth, hoping that this is going to lead to Hillary in an orange suit and people within the Biden administration, and that is just not going to happen, and there's no evidence pointing to that beyond speculation and people carrying a grassy knoll. These are conspiracy theories at best right now.
Well, we'll continue to see, because there are indictments, there are facts, there are allegations, and we'll see where they go if Durham continues to move forward with his investigation. I want to talk about the pipeline, because again, this is one of those things where when our Peter Doocy and Jackie Heinrich and people are at the White House pushing, the story has morphed a little bit about whether there is going to be a change to the pipeline that brings in 540,000 barrels a day from Canada into Michigan. MSNBC, by the way, is talking about this with people worried about rising prices. You know, we talked about Thanksgiving dinner. This is an opinion piece. It says, so lots of Americans came into 2021 with money in their pockets. What all this means is that American consumers are, relatively speaking, flush, and that it's strong demand for goods and services that is sending prices higher. So, Jason, it's actually a good thing, the situation that we're in?
No, people that are in fixed incomes, inflation is just horrific. It just eats it up. And look, as it relates to energy prices, to have some of those potentially double along the way, Democrats shut down the Keystone Pipeline. They locked up the access to petroleum products off of public lands. They don't want to do anything with ANWR. They don't want to do these things that allow Americans to live a quality of life that they need to live. And to have the gas prices go up, that's going to affect absolutely every single person. And it's all self-inflicted by Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. This is what they hope for, and this is what they're getting.
Well, this is what Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell had to say. He says the president's now backing OPEC to increase production to reduce our gas prices because of his actions. We're no longer energy independent. It makes no sense. Leslie, how do you defend it?
The supply chain crisis and the gas prices are global. So unless Joe Biden is president of the world and not just the United States, that is just not true, factually.
Okay, but let me just stop you there, because I want to get a chance.
Yeah.
I want you to respond to this. What about the fact that he has done things that have stymied production here in the U.S., whether it's banning federal drilling, whether it's shutting down pipelines, or stopping the construction of a pipeline? I mean, those are actions he's taken that they have concrete impact, consequences.
Well, he has also said since the beginning, Shannon, that he wanted to have a fair and thorough investigation of each pipeline. We also know that some of these pipelines, like that one section of Line 5, can be dangerous, and that would be a hurt to the people in that community. It could take lives, not to mention jobs. And if a pipeline leaks, we certainly don't know what other health ramifications that will have to the surrounding communities. And that's what they want to do with Line 5, is have an investigation on that one portion. They're not talking about shutting it down. They're talking about a replacement of one portion. And the infrastructure bill that just passed, that the president put forth and Democrats passed with the help of 19 Republicans, is going to help with a lot of the issues that led to this supply chain crisis in the midst of this pandemic, such as our ports that are going and the jobs that are going to be created, but what we're going to be able to do to get those goods to the American people and the world, quite frankly, quicker as a result of that funding and that legislation.
For everyone involved, we want that situation resolved as quickly as possible. The president still hasn't signed it. He's going to wait, but eventually he will. Leslie and Jason, thank you both.
Thank you.
Thanks, Shannon.